The first day of joint practices with the Cleveland Browns is over, and we are here to tell you everything you need to know. Fran Duffy, EJ Smith, Bo Wulf in studio. Coming up next on the PHLY Eagles podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast, live from the Xfinity studio. We are presented by Xfinity, Dudhat Dental and TrueMark Financial Credit Union. A blazing hot day at the NovaCare Complex, on the field and in the air. Bo Wulf, Fran Duffy, EJ Smith, joint practices, and this is a fun setup here because you guys were watching one field, I was on the other. We haven't really talked. So we get to sort of like, I don't even know what happened with the Eagles offense. You guys don't know what happened with the Eagles defense. We're going to figure it all out together. How we doing?
I'm excited. I love a joint practice, a lot to take in. And it started like as soon as you walk out in the field, as everybody's, all the reunions happening.
Which Barry brother am I looking at?
Yeah, it's just, we got a lot to discuss for sure.
How about you, EJ? You like a joint practice?
I love a joint practice. We even got a fight today, which, a little tease at the show. It wasn't a big fight, but,
and a special teams fight. Yeah.
No, it was a good day. A little hot, but I'm excited for the show.
Julia, you don't need any practice with joints, right? All good. We don't need joint practice. We don't need that. We go right to the game. That's all that matters. Okay. Let's just do takeaways. Let's go. Let's give me your big takeaways. Fran, you go first. We'll do like two big takeaways each, and then we'll really get into the weeds of what we saw in one-on-ones and stuff like that.
I would say like my number one takeaway was just we don't see the Eagles offensive line, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, deal with a guy like Myles Garrett all the time. And he's just, he's so good. And I go back to sitting in this seat back in the spring when the contract stuff was going on with Myles Garrett, and you asked the question, like, how much would you trade for Myles Garrett? And I was immediately like 3 ones. Yeah. And there were people in the chat that were like, that's absurd. Yeah, I feel very, very good about the assertion. Yeah, trade 3 ones for Myles Garrett.
They did one-on-ones. Myles Garrett went against Lane Johnson.
Okay, 1 rep.
And like 1 clean inside against Lane in a way that I have never seen anybody do. It was wild. It was like Jimmy Kempsky and I were like, did Lane miss the snap? Like what happened? And he just now the second one was like a real worlds colliding moment when they got together, and like there was a real massive humanity, and Garrett's pushing him back, but Lane's holding on. But that first rep, like I've never seen anything like it.
He blew by Mailata 3 or 4 times in team drills. He got him with a bull rush a couple times. He worked over on the other side against Lane as well. It's not that he won every single rep, but again, just kind of going back, it's rare that we get to see the tackles get that level of work in practice. Because the last time the Eagles went to Cleveland, Garrett was hurt, didn't play. I think he played. He was limited.
They did
the second
one-on-ones,
day.
and there was a lot of work. He was crushing Mailata. He was working on the other side that day. I remember, and Mailata was like, they spent a lot of time after practice, and you saw this actually today, where like there was probably a parade of
there's like
15 Eagles who all wanted to have one-on-one conversations with Myles Garrett, like how can I get better, or make, man, you're awesome, and I don't think there was anybody else in the Browns that Eagles fans or Eagles players were like waiting to talk to, but Myles Garrett has that presence.
Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco got some love from her former teammates.
They don't have the same presence.
Yeah. That's not like I gotta talk to this guy. I think Jalyx Hunt, did you say?
Yeah, Jalyx Hunt came off of the podium. He said he wanted to talk to Myles Garrett before the conclusion of these joint practices. And literally, I guess because Myles Garrett was still lingering because of the line of players wanting to talk to him, Jalyx Hunt immediately went up to him and started talking to him. Fran, I felt like you had a good observation about the Jalyx Hunt, Myles Garrett physical comparison with the 2 guys next to each other.
Yeah, he is. So obviously pass rushers all say like, I love watching all the other pass rushers around the NFL. But honestly, like in talking, and this is across all positions, offensive line, running backs, if you're Nolan Smith, watching Myles Garrett doesn't really do much for you because you're a completely different body type. Like you want to watch Von Miller, you want to watch guys that are, built more like you. I would say that Jalyx is one of like 7, 8 guys where with that, his length and his explosiveness, like he can learn some things and try and mirror some things that Myles Garrett can do.
Oh, that's interesting.
High praise, right?
That is high praise.
Yeah.
Just from a physical ability.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't look
Hopefully it was a good conversation.
He didn't look significantly smaller or anything like that. Like, I feel like standing next to Myles Garrett is an intimidating thing. You know, Dave Zangaro has that picture of himself next to Myles Garrett. I feel like even some NFL players, like, I wouldn't put Andrew McCuba next to Myles Garrett. That's for sure.
No.
But I felt like
you put him inside him. Get your mind out of the gutter, EJ.
Oh man, the new guy can't hold it together. Jalyx, he did not look out of place next to Myles.
I feel like Myles Garrett's. Do you feel like his head is not quite as big as it should be, given the rest of his body?
No, I think it's just the rest of his body is just like it's so overwhelming.
Yeah,
the head does look. It's a little like the.
It's also like, I mean, listen, we get it. You look great with your shirt off. Put your shirt back on.
Oh no! If I was Myles Garrett, I would do that. I would literally
do this podcast.
Never wear a shirt. Yeah, come on.
I know, but come on, we get it.
Like you've got a line of other NFL players waiting to talk to you.
Yeah,
like you're gonna. I feel like he's earned that. He's earned that.
No, I would do every time I walk outside. I wouldn't own a shirt.
Yeah,
honestly,
at least
my closet would be empty.
The most you'd wear is like a midriff.
What do you mean? You would like wear a cummerbund?
Like, you know what I mean? Like the.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You're like a cutoff shirt.
Cut off.
You don't wear the midriff. You show the midriff.
I call it a midriff. Is that not what it's
like?
Called?
I think I think you show the midriff, right?
I'm not an expert.
This is the midriff. Yeah.
Shockingly, I do not.
All right, so Myles Garrett praise is our number one takeaway. What was your number one takeaway, EJ?
My number one takeaway is that there were some unsurprising and surprising standouts among the receiving core. I don't feel like I need to spend a lot of time on this podcast telling people that DeVonta Smith and Dallas Goedert are productive members of the Eagles starting offense. They both had good days. You know, DeVonta Smith had a touchdown pass on an outbreaker early in practice. Dallas Goedert was really heavily involved. I think it felt like they kept running the same, like Dallas Goedert in the flat off of a play action look just constantly against this Browns defense. And it worked out really well. It was productive. Goedert caught a pass on a sail route too. I love Dallas Goedert on a sail route. It's one of my favorites.
Do you feel like I feel like it's been a relatively underwhelming summer for Dallas Goedert?
Relatively, yes, because there have been times where he has been like the star of training camp. You know, it feels like, oh man, Jalen, are you targeting Dallas Goedert more? But I feel like he has kind of just been steady.
And I feel like now listen, it's not a game, so you're not funneling targets on purpose. But I feel like given that it's been very rare for AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith to both be on the field, I feel like I would have expected more Dallas Goedert.
I think that's fair, but he has been like, especially today, he was very involved.
Okay.
So maybe if you watch today, you wouldn't feel so strongly that way.
Calcaterra was also very involved today too, which you don't think you'd say like, all right, like if he's like the avatar for Dallas Goedert in terms of the tight end position being more involved, there could be something there.
Is there something schematically about a Jim Schwartz defense that would make a tight end more?
No, I think
involved?
I think it was more like we're going to move the pocket and get away from this rush a little bit.
Got it.
It was a lot of the rollouts that EJ was mentioning where
that makes sense.
Let's get the ball out fast.
So do you want to hear the surprising star?
I do. Now I did watch your social video, so this one I do have a clue where you're going.
Johnny Wilson had a really nice day. It started in the one-on-ones at the beginning of practice. He had a jump ball. I think it was against Tony Brown.
Yes, Tony Brown.
We're going to be talking about Tony Brown during the
Downtown
show.
Tony Brown.
Downtown Tony Brown. Is that actually his nickname?
No.
Okay.
Downtown.
Today it was
because he's too young. What are you, a Gen Z? What are you?
I am an old millennial.
But you're not. You're too young to know Downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah, it does not ring a bell. I'm sorry. My age always surprises people, so maybe we should get this out. It's my third show.
19? What are you?
That would be surprising. I'm 30. I'll be 31 soon. So I'm an old soul, though. I feel like I kind of.
Yeah, I think you
fit in with.
I think you give off dad energy.
Yeah, I'm not a dad.
I know that.
Dog dad, but yeah, I mean, maybe not dad energy. I don't have like bad jokes. I like.
Oh, well, I mean, speak for yourself.
I be in the house. Yeah, I don't think I make many jokes at all, but. I just like, I'm a homebody, and I've been called an old soul a lot, and it's the hair. The hair doesn't help out. Definitely ages me a little bit. So.
Love cutting the grass.
Yeah, the mowing and the barbecue, that is tough.
Yeah,
beat the dad allegation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see where you're coming from.
I mean that as a compliment.
Yes.
No, I don't take offense to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is when people are like, there's no way you're 30. That sometimes it was worse when I was like 26 and then people were like, I thought you were like 40. That's not fun.
That's tough.
Yeah, definitely tough. So
Yeah, but the flip side is maybe you'll be 60 and people will still think you're 40.
my dad looks pretty good, know, for 67. So maybe my best days are ahead of me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. So Tony Brown.
So Johnny Wilson wins a jump ball.
On Tony Brown in one-on-ones. Few plays later during team, he beats him again with the second team. And the reason I say second team here is because Johnny Wilson, working him with the ones later in practice, caught it. Because again, I know what you're going to say, Bo. We've said it on the show before. The jump ball, like Johnny Wilson, the jump ball experience is great, but Jalen Hurts isn't throwing him that ball.
Right.
Jalen Hurts did throw him a jump ball in practice. I was not clear. I think was it Mitchell that it was against?
Yes, that was against Cameron Mitchell.
Yep, against Cameron Mitchell. Thank you, Fran. And yeah, Johnny Wilson went up and got it. So 3 jump balls. The second one, especially with the twos, was probably the best catch against Tony Brown. Maybe it was just because it was right in front of me that I was really impressed with him going up and getting it. I feel like this is now becoming like one of the, maybe it'll be a story that we talk about, in 3 months being an overrated story, but I don't know. I am intrigued by the value of a confident Johnny Wilson. Is he a player because of his physical attributes, how tall he is? He's going to be a matchup advantage in theory because of those physical attributes. Could the confidence make the difference for a player like Johnny Wilson?
I'm willing to believe that. I think he has looked better the second half of training camp. That's what you would want to see. Right?
Since that Elijah Cook's rise off the depth chart, I feel like I've noticed a little. I mean, it could just be like, in my mind, but I feel like a little bit more urgency, a little bit more pep in the step, and not as many balls on the ground, like during individuals and stuff from Johnny Wilson. Yeah,
and you want to see him play big.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are some of the ways he was winning early in camp were like, slants, and not to say that those are not big plays, but it was like with quickness against guys who might not be covering him.
Yeah.
The way that he's going to have to win with a first team offense in a regular season game is that way. And so if he can do that, maybe there's a place for him on the field.
Yeah. And especially it's good to remember this is all additive to the fact that he is good in the run game. And Nick Sirianni has talked about how valuable he can be in that facet as well.
Yeah.
They throw a bubble screen in team drills to DeVonta Smith, Johnny Wilson out in front. Nice block there to spring DeVonta on that play. He also, I love joint practice from a special teams aspect of things.
No, you do.
You get because when you have the special teams periods during a regular training camp practice, it's it's obviously Eagles versus Eagles, and so you're borrowing from units.
Right, you can't have exactly.
So you might not always have the true starting group. The Eagles, they had their punt return unit going up against the Cleveland punt team, and then they inversed it later in practice. Johnny Wilson working with the first team punt return unit as well, trying to block punts. So doing some of the blocking, doing some of the special teams. Good look for Johnny Wilson today. Overall.
Okay.
I feel like he solidified his roster spot today. I don't think it was really up for grabs at any point. Well, no, I don't feel like that is a controversial thing to say. But like a week ago, we probably weren't feeling great about Johnny Wilson having a roster spot, or at least locking it down.
I think that first preseason game, it was much more on the bubble.
So maybe you could say it was the preseason game that solidified it. But I feel like today was kind of the one that slammed the door shut.
Cook's injury.
That's a good point as well. Yeah.
Okay, for me, having watched the defense most of the day, the big takeaway was, we continued to see rotation at that other cornerback spot, and I am just as worried about it, if not more so than I was before. Kelee Ringo, Jakorian Bennett, Adoree Jackson all had kind of rough days today. Kelee Ringo, there was one play where he tries to break on it to the outside and try to get the interception or break it up, and he just kind of whiffs on it, and Jerry Jeudy catches the ball and goes for a big play. That was not ideal. He got beaten one-on-ones. One-on-ones are tough, but there were a few other plays throughout practice that you would like to see Kelee Ringo do better. Adoree Jackson, it was about the same as it's been, like some tight coverage catches allowed, not getting beat deep, but not being a lockdown by any stretch of the imagination. Jakorian Bennett lost a guy on a touchdown, and this was a tough assignment where it was a well-designed play where they vacated one side. And Jakorian Bennett has to follow the guy all the way across the field, and he's open for a touchdown. He's got to sift through the zone, but you would like to see him do better. Gave up another dig over the middle of the field for like a 20-yard completion. You saw him use he has good, it seems to me, ability to like get the ball out at contact.
Mhm.
He's got pretty good like contact
I
hands.
agree with that. Yep.
But I have been, it's hard. He's in a new scheme. He's in a new place, but I have been a little bit underwhelmed with him in coverage so far. I actually thought that McWilliams of the outside corners is the guy who had the best day today, and he was working exclusively with the twos. But I find it interesting that the last two practices, we haven't seen McWilliams inside, which is where he was practicing in the first half of camp.
Right. Yeah, that's a
He
good
is
point.
only on the outside right now.
That's a good point.
And you're seeing Brandon Johnson with the second team in nickel. And to me, that is an indication that McWilliams is really competing for the starting job on the outside right now.
That's a really good point. And I hadn't even thought about it from that angle. And I think that if they're going to make that kind of move, you probably need to start mixing in with the ones
eventually
tomorrow, early next week, like pretty soon, I would imagine.
After practice, Quinyon Mitchell talked about how McWilliams has had a similar experience playing both inside and outside this training camp and how that can help you at outside quarterback. So, I think the fact that he's outside now, maybe this is going to be similar in a way to like Vic Fangio. He kind of slow played Quinyon last summer too. Obviously, different draft pedigree, different situation. But I do think our experience with Vic last summer informs. Like I am kind of like looking out for those surprises a little bit more this year.
Turkeys then after you watched all of practice today on CB2 for week 1.
I think I would still give Ringo the plurality of my turkeys.
The edge, okay.
I think I would go maybe 30 Ringo. I don't know, 25 Adoree Jackson, 26 McWilliams, and 19 Jakorian Bennett.
I'm sure that math adds up. Yep.
I think it does.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I think Bennett is.
I have no idea.
would be last for me of the 4.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Okay. All right. What was your second big takeaway?
My second big takeaway. This can be tough to ascertain. Sometimes during training camp. I thought the run game was really good today.
Okay.
They a lot of times it's like, all right, a defender might get an arm on Saquon Barkley or the running back, and it's like,
is this a tackle? Right.
There were a number of times where Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, and A.J. Dillon all got to the second level clean, like where it's foot in the ground, downhill, and they are up there. So while Myles Garrett gave them issues up front, like from a pass game standpoint, I felt like in the run game, the Eagles' offensive line really did their job really well, and we were able to get the running backs up to the second level with ease, and it happened like numerous times.
Let me ask you from a depth chart standpoint, because we haven't talked about this yet.
Talk through this.
Was it Brett Toth getting all the reps with the ones at left guard?
Brett Toth, for my eyes, got every first team left guard rep.
Okay.
Darian Kinnard got every every second team left guard,
which is interesting.
Yes, so
they're not even rotating there.
Did not look like any rotation there for me. Now they did do some offensive line rotations today. As you got through team drills, Lane Johnson, they and this was a planned thing. Lane talked about it after practice, where Lane Johnson was on the sidelines. He's watching. So then you put
Matt Pryor.
You had Matt Pryor in at right tackle. Then Cam Jurgens is out. And so you've got Drew Kendall in with the ones at center, which we talked about that with the Landon Dickerson injury fallout. And I thought that was interesting as well. So that meant like Cam Williams got more reps and Trevor Keegan got more reps with the twos. So, I think they were just trying to mix and matching in there today. And Lane said after practice, he said, yeah, this was planned because it's a really good competition at swing tackle right now. I want to be able to get those guys more.
Interesting for him to say that.
Yes. He said, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know EJ, you were in on it as well. He shouted out Kendall, Matt Pryor, and the rookies, Hidden and Cam.
He mentioned both of the rookies.
Interesting.
Both
he
rookies,
mentioned.
as far as
I think he mentioned Cameron Williams second too.
I mean, he's thinking right tackle. That's the guy who gets behind him.
That's probably right.
Like, that's how his mind works, I'm guessing.
I don't remember how it came out.
I was just surprised to hear.
Yeah, but he didn't mention Kinnard.
No,
which is interesting.
He did not. Which
that is interesting.
Yeah. If you're talking about him for left guard. Yep.
Lane Johnson, I want to give a couple more pieces from Lane Johnson's press conference. First off, he is one of the most reliable narrators consistently.
I agree with this.
One of the most reliable narrators about, I don't know if we're going to agree on this, about people's medical situations.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree. He's a reliable narrator.
He's a reliable narrator in general, yes. But he is like always if he tells you how much somebody weighs, that's what they weigh.
Yeah. Yes.
And today he mentioned that Landon Dickerson had a surgery this morning
Oh,
for his meniscus.
okay.
Again, very reliable. So he just volunteers it to
He just it doesn't matter to him whether it's true, he's going to get in trouble. He just says the truth.
Yeah. And then the other thing that he mentioned that I found interesting is that he said it was almost a relief to go against a 4-down front today with the Browns. It's a more static front than what the Eagles use. And he basically said that was, he said whenever that they go against a 4-down front, it's a good day for the run game. So, I found that interesting. If anything, it might just be like a hat tip to the way that Vic Fangio operates up front, that it kind of messes up the combo blocks and can change things right before the snap. So I did find that interesting.
Hearing Jim Schwartz yell, base, nickel, like it was just like probably I had a couple double takes like, probably back to 2019.
I like that. All right, let's take a quick break, hear from some sponsors, and then on the other side, we will get to the rest of our takeaways and then get into some of the real details of plays and stuff we saw. It's a very exciting week for me. You know, when you are like really anticipating a piece of mail?
No.
Like a package?
A package.
Okay.
Something you've ordered. I have a big shipment coming from Mack Weldon.
Yes.
That I cannot wait to get my hands on. If you don't know about Mack Weldon, well, here's what you need to know. We are talking about breathable clothes that help you stay cool, comfortable, and stylish all summer long and into those hot fall months. With Mack Weldon, their new Tech Linen line combines the easy charm of classic linen with cool Max technology, so you can explore shirts, shorts, hoodies, and more at MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order with code PHLY. Effortless style and comfort all summer long with Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon balances classic pieces with updated details to help keep you looking sharp. We're not talking about flashy, just classic, always in style, and made from the world's most comfortable performance materials. They are the go-to choice for guys who want to look great without even trying. Mack Weldon clothes are designed to fit your style and the demands of modern life. They like to look like regular clothes, but feel like the latest in modern comfort. For over 10 years, Mack Weldon has designed timeless, innovative menswear to help you move through the day with confidence, even if you're just hanging in your underwear. Get breathable clothes you can feel comfortable in all summer. Go to MackWeldon.com. That's MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code PHLY.
Next, we have to tell you about the good people at Ford and their all-new Explorer. That's right. It's America's all-time best-selling SUV, a legacy of family trust and performance with 3-row seating for up to 7 passengers. It comes with your choice of 3 different powertrain options and is available with rear-wheel drive or intelligent 4-wheel drive. The 3-liter EcoBoost V6 has up to 400 horsepower if you're looking for something sporty, or you could go with a hybrid model with up to 500 miles of driving range if you're after something fuel efficient. It also comes with Ford's terrain management system, perfect whether you're driving home in the snow, trekking across the sand, or even towing a trailer. You'll also be getting an advanced suite of driver assist features with Ford Copilot 360 and a large digital instrument cluster for that high-tech feel. Available with captain's chairs and plenty of storage space, with the seats folded down, the new Explorer is truly a do-it-all SUV built for families, but ready for adventure.
All right. Now, by the way, we've been talking about this. Still a little bit of time. Great chance to become a diehard. $36 for the whole year. You're going to get all of EJ's writing. He was working on a little something for later in the week that we're excited about. You get Kyle Neubeck and Derek Bodner, Charlie O'Connor. All great stuff. Les Bowen at allphly.com. Great chance to become a diehard. And if you're a diehard, you want to hang with some similarly situated Philadelphia fans, why not take a trip out to California with the Flyers road trip? Because PHLY and Philly Sports Trips are taking the diehards west for the California takeover with Flyers legend John LeClair. From March 17th to the 22nd, we are hitting the West Coast for 2 huge games. First against the Anaheim Ducks at the Honda Center, and then against the LA Kings at Crypto.com Arena. Your package includes optional round-trip direct flights from Philly, a 5-night stay at the beautiful Sanborn Santa Monica, group tickets to both games, a Flyers watch party, and an exclusive meet and greet with John LeClaire. Plus, the Philly Sports Trips crew will be there to handle every detail, so you can just enjoy the sun, the sights, and the hockey. This is the California vacation every Flyers fan dreams of, with a couple of wins to top it off. Spots are limited. Book your trip today at allphly.com/events. All right. Back on the PHLY Eagles podcast. EJ, give me your takeaway number 2.
I thought this was just an okay day from Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go with the quarterback. I feel like people want to hear about how
old habits die hard from the newspaper.
I know, the old newspaper, man.
Yeah.
It's always, you can always write the quarterback. So, I felt like it was just an okay day from him. I feel like there will be some reports that say that he had 3 interceptions today. We talked about it before the show. Probably more fair to just have him with the one. One of them was during one-on-ones to Anaya Smith, and Anaya Smith was just blanketed in coverage. I wouldn't necessarily put that on Jalen. The last one toward the end of practice, he was rolling out. He was, kind of flush from the pocket. It kind of looked like a desperation heave. Fran and I talked about it.
I think he got sacked. I think he got sacked and was like, all right, I'm just going to put this up.
Yeah, the second one was the one to Dallas Goedert where it was kind of like a collision at midfield. I can't remember the player who ended up with it, but that was
Devin Bush.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to squeeze it into a tight window, and the ball got kind of popped up into the air, and Bush was able to come down with it and took it back the other way.
Yeah. Interceptions aside, I felt like there were a lot of underneath completions, which kind of saved the day from being like a total thumbs down type of day, right? I told you Dallas Goedert was really involved. There were definitely a good amount of completions supplemented by the fact that they ran the ball so often. There weren't necessarily very many high level throws. I came on here yesterday excited about that four-play sequence.
The four-play.
Yeah, you like all the things he did in the foreplay.
Today there wasn't necessarily a 4-play sequence as exciting as that, but I did feel like there was enough of him keeping things on schedule, doing well and move the ball drills to, again, you wouldn't call it a negative day, but definitely wasn't a dominant day from the passing offense.
Is that what you saw as well?
Yes, I agree. And it was mostly completions underneath. I know that there's going to be some assertions that he didn't have a good day, and I would not go that far. Here's what I would say. A lot of the underneath completions, when you're looking at Jalen Hurts and you think about the overall health of the pass game, very often what you'll see when it's a bad Jalen Hurts day is that it's I'm looking, and now I'm going to run around, and then I'm going to dump off something short. That's not ideal. That's not what you want. There were a lot of times where I'm right, because typically what I'll write down is 1 to 88. All right, so he hits Dallas Goedert, late progression, where it's okay, he stood in the pocket and he went 1 to 2 to 3. That's good. That's good process. I felt like there was more of that today than I'm running around and then I dump off to Anaya Smith underneath. So I thought it was fine overall. I didn't think it was a bad day from Jalen Hurts, and especially considering the fact he was under duress. So Myles Garrett was back there often.
I had a quick question about Garrett, not to backtrack too much here. Do you feel like there was a point in practice where he's all right, I don't have to ruin out the whole day for you guys?
Well, it was funny. So when I first noticed that Lane was out, I also noticed that Myles was out, and I was did they just say all right, Lane's out, all right, Myles, take a break?
That would be unfair.
Yeah, but they did bring him back out. It was because they could. So basically, the way they did it was all right, it's going to be 6 plays for the ones, 6 plays for the twos, then the ones are going to go back out. So that first batch of ones when Lane was out, Myles was not out there. And so I was oh, let's see. And when the ones came back out, Myles Garrett did come back out and go up against, he went up against Jordan and against the...
It was interesting. There were a couple, the Eagles offense seemed like they got more plays than the Browns offense. There were a couple times where they were done on that second field, and then there were 6 more plays on the Eagles offensive field. I don't know what that was about.
Is that Kevin Patullo, throwing his weight around? Maybe Tommy Reese isn't doing quite as
Maybe
much.
Tommy Reese ran out of plays.
He's running out of quarterback.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders.
I may have been asked to bring
3
up
plays today.
Tommy Reese on the podcast today.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I'm responding in kind. Yeah, I don't think he has that many plays in his playbook, and not enough to get through practice. I will go the other way of what you said about the Eagles' run game, which is that the Eagles, I think you would be disappointed in how they performed against the pass in general, considering it was Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel for the most part, but they were very good against the run on this day. Now, that Browns offensive line has some good players, Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller, to be specific, at guard, right, and Jack Conklin, but for the most part, I thought the Eagles' front six, front seven did a very good job. And there were not a lot of, there was a lot of like, okay, this is like a 2-yard gain, or, Jordan Davis has the guy, at the line of scrimmage. A lot of Jihaad Campbell, thud. Jeremiah Trotter was all over the place downfield. So I thought they did well. They also, in that vein, there were probably like 5 times today where the Browns called some kind of screen and they were like all sniffed out right away, or just like they looked disastrous. So those plays were all well sniffed out by the Eagles defense.
Zach Baum, was he a team?
He was not in team.
Okay.
I saw, so there was, they were doing O-line, D-line one-on-ones here and 7-on-7 here. And I saw one play of 7-on-7, the first play right before they had started the one-on-ones. And Zach Baum makes a diving PBU in the middle of the field. Like, great play. Like, okay, good. Because I have been like, what?
What if, yeah.
Are we a little bit worried about Zach Baum?
Sure.
He's got this back injury. He can't possibly be as good as he was last year. What will the defense look like if he's just very good instead of great? And it was kind of encouraging to be like, one play in, he makes like an awesome diving play.
Do we know who the other linebacker was next to him?
I think it was Trotter.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that he played next to Campbell yet.
Was Jalyx Hunt working primarily with the ones, or was Uche mixing in there as well?
Uche was in there a lot.
Okay.
Ojolari was in there as well, and even Okoronkwo got. They were doing a lot of rotation throughout the defense. I mean, we saw all the different linebacker combinations. Makuba got some time with the ones. Sidney Brown got some time with the ones.
Okay.
I think Hunt played less than I would have. Hunt and Nolan Smith played a little bit less than I would have expected.
That's been the case over the last few days.
Yeah, it's almost like they're on a pitch count.
I was gonna say, what do you make of that?
I don't know.
And
actually, Ojolari had his best day, I think. Today.
Ooh,
yeah,
really?
he had a sack, and then made a nice play in run defense.
Okay, that's good.
I feel like, especially Nolan, there have been a few hints that he might be not quite 100% yet with the triceps. I asked him about it last week, and he kind of sidestepped the question. Didn't want to put a percentage on it or anything like that. Kind of just said he's getting better, and what you'd expect him to say, but not very much detail on where he's at. There were those reps early in camp when he was going against Lane Johnson in one-on-ones, and it seemed like they were stopping midway through the rep. So I think that they might have both of those guys on a pitch count at this point. It's definitely something to keep an eye on moving forward.
Okay. We have a super chat from Nico, who says, "Belated welcome to EJ from the UK. I'm hoping Villa sell us Rodgers."
I don't know who Nico roots for, but he's not for sale. They wouldn't sell him. I just bought his jersey or his kit.
Oh no,
long sleeve kit.
This is Aaron Rodgers, or
no, not Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
This is Morgan Rodgers, one of Aston Villa's best players, one of my favorite players ever.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, he's not going anywhere.
What
Somebody
position?
tweeted me. He's like a 10, an attacking midfielder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a 10.
I know. That's what I was like.
Somebody tweeted at me that he's going to Newcastle, and this is a dad joke. I was like, yeah, he's going to Newcastle on Saturday. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Hands off, Morgan Rodgers, not for sale.
Did they do? What kind of one-on-ones did they do on that far field?
So you watched the receiver DBs.
Okay.
I watched so they kept the running backs and linebackers and tight ends and safeties together on the same field, which was great. I
Nice.
guess I watched the and they just went back and forth. It was,
okay.
It was ideal. So I got to take in both position groups.
You want to go through it?
Yeah, I can go through it. Give me a second.
You want me to do mine first?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna just buzz through the notes and stop me if you hear anything interesting. Grant Delpit PBU on a crossing route to Dallas Goedert. Just beat him at the top of the route.
Was there, before you get going, any Browns who like popped to you? They were like, I gotta look and see who this is. This is a
other
nice
than
play.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Not particularly.
Okay.
No. There were a couple guys in drills where I was like, oh, who is this? But honestly, it was actually more the opposite, where I was like, oh, that wasn't a good rep. Who was that? And I was like, well, that's Jerome Baker. Oh, he doesn't move as well as he used to. That kind of thing. Carson Schwessinger looks like he's a guy, though. The rookie second-round pick who they drafted.
You liked him?
Yeah, I did like a Schwessinger. All right, so Devin Bush got a PBU on a Texas route against Saquon Barkley. They've been running a lot of those. A lot of those Texas routes with the running backs. Grant Calcaterra had a really just like a number of reps today in one-on-ones and in team where I was like, that was a really smooth route. He looked really good on that play.
I think he has. I think we talked about it before. He's had a very underrated summer because I feel like when they brought in all these tight ends, you were thinking one of these guys maybe one of them pushes, and he has gotten better.
Yeah,
and those guys have fallen off.
I think he has. Like for what he is, which is going to be like a pass first, like move tight end, he has matured as a like route runner, like as a technician, and I think that's going to be very important for his game because he's never going to be like a plus blocker,
right?
So him getting better in those areas, I think is going to be very important for him. Will Shipley carved up a couple guys in this drill. He ran by somebody on a wheel route. He carved up Schwessinger on a Texas route inside.
Welcome
really nice route there. There was a really nice route from Shipley. Let's see. AJ Dillon won on a Texas route against Jerome Baker. Kylan Granson, really nice corner route against Rayshawn Jenkins. Ben Van Sumeren showing the wheels, runs by the linebacker number 40, who is Nathaniel Watson, who I liked out of Mississippi State last year.
Mr. Nathaniel Watson
just ran right by him. Diving catch in the corner of the end zone.
Wow.
Ben Van Sumeren earning a
Well, let's talk about Ben Van Sumeren for a second because Kevin Patullo before practice was asked about like, hey, why haven't we seen any of these fullback reps with this big fullback you got? I know he's been injured, and he said, well, these are public practices, so we don't.
I know EJ's watching.
Yeah, so. I guess I can buy it. I'm still skeptical.
You want to be the tiebreaker on that one, Fran? The Ben Van Sumeren deserving of a roster spot?
I think I would put him on my 53 right now. Yeah.
There you have it, folks.
This will be a good one for me because I will probably put him on.
And then he won't make it.
And then, either way, I win.
I feel like
if he doesn't make it, I was right all along.
No,
if he does
lose either way.
I win either way. Welcome to the show, EJ.
I don't know about that. We'll revisit that one.
A couple other ones. Saquon Barkley ran by Devin Bush on a wheel route for a touchdown. Dallas Goedert won at the top of a route against Delpit in their second rep together. Another really good route from Will Shipley for a catch. Another really good route on an in-cut from Grant Calcaterra. The tight ends for safeties, I think I've said this before, like of all the one-on-one drills, this is the one that is most tilted. Like the tight end wins almost every single time against the safety. So you're just more looking like movement and like, all right, how did this guy look on the route? AJ Dillon got beat on a Texas route inside. Baker was able to get in there and knock the ball down. Ben Van Sumeren had another catch. And then Shunderick Powell closed it off, closed it out with a wheel route, flew by the linebacker, diving catch in the end zone. Crowd all got excited. Great way to end the drill.
Okay.
I'm intrigued by a Shunderick Powell. As like a practice squad player.
This is your father-in-law's favorite player?
It is my father-in-law's favorite player. So I might be a little biased, but
shout out to
Don.
Big Donnie.
Don. Yeah.
Why
Shundani Powell?
He is like, he's a true Eagle sicko who will watch like the YouTube highlights of all the undrafted rookies and pick his favorites. And I think he likes the name too.
How could you not?
It's a great name.
Great name. Yeah.
That was the big takeaways.
It sounds like those one-on-ones were more eventful than the wide receiver corners one-on-ones. Like I did not see Jahan Dotson get a rep. And it was a lot of the down the depth chart guys. So, yeah.
Okay. And you told us about Johnny Wilson already.
Yeah, he was the one that stood out the most. Honestly, the next thing that I had in my notes after the one-on-ones is probably more interesting for Jahan Dotson. Did you guys notice that he was back there fielding punts during the special teams period?
I did notice that.
Yeah.
He was asked about that last week at his media availability. It was just like, oh, like have you, is that something you feel like you can do? And he was like, yeah, like I've actually petitioned to do it. And it was I was a playmaker in college being able to do that. So interesting that he's getting more reps.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll give you my Browns wide receivers against Eagles DBs notes, and then we'll take a break, and then I'll tell you about the offensive line, defensive line.
Love it.
Adoree Jackson had a good rep on a PBU against Cedric Tillman. Now we wanted to see how Quinyon Mitchell was going to do going up against somebody else. He had 2 reps against Jerry Jeudy. First one, Jeudy got him, but it was not like blew past him. It was tight coverage. He made a good catch, put on a good move at the top of the route. And then the second one, Jeudy tried to go deep, and Quinyon very professionally forced him to the outside where it was going to be an incompletion. That was a good job by him. 2 awesome reps from Cooper DeJean in the slot against Jamari Thrash, which is that their starting nickel?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah.
2 great reps. And like, that is as tilted a thing as there is. I know you mentioned the safeties, but like to have to cover a 2-way go, he did great. Forced Thrash to slip on the second one. Deontay Johnson beat Kelee Ringo on a comeback route where like he had him beat deep by a step and then put on the Jets, and Ringo was just head on a swivel there.
That's a tough matchup for Kelee in terms of like what Deontay Johnson's like skill set is as a receiver. That's a tough matchup for Kelee.
Caden Davis beat Tariq Castro Fields for a deep touchdown. Good reps from Brandon Johnson, AJ Woods, and Perry Nickerson. This was actually a very good Brandon Johnson day. Now, he was, I'm not kidding, but he was called for holding in team periods. One of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life. That ref's got to get fired. Absolutely ridiculous. They should have thrown a challenge flag. And then both Jakorian Bennett and Eli Ricks allowed like tight coverage catches against no names.
I was trying to think of a Brandon Johnson.
The Quinyon thing was interesting though because he did not. I thought maybe he would follow Jerry Jeudy today.
Right.
He did not.
Mostly left corner.
Actually more so right corner.
Okay.
But he was sort of moving around, but it wasn't necessarily because it was somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe they want to see the other guys against the Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, I think that is definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they want to see him on both sides.
Sure.
So quick super chat from CDP who says, less than a week after the Hard Rock was taken back from the fans of the commies, the National Guard was deployed in D.C. Is this a coincidence? What do we think?
Just shot across your bow.
I'm not concerned about anything that happens in D.C. All right, quick break. Coming back with lots more on the PHLY Eagles podcast from the Xfinity studio. Breaking news from Bet365. You know about Bet365. 90 million users worldwide. They live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365. They are the Lewis and Clark of live in-game betting because they pioneered that bad boy. Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. And now new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get that $150 in bonus bets. Again, win or lose. Here's that breaking news one more time. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 21 or older. That's as old as EJ, and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So let's now hear from our friends at Monarch Money, because let's be real. One of the trickiest things in everyday life is tracking your spending. Just trying to keep track of, whether it's rideshare services, going out to eat, your regular day-to-day spending. You got food shopping, you're doing your online shopping, you're going out, it's back to school time. It's all trying to keep track of, all right, when are we getting paid next? When can I spend my money here? When can I spend my money there? It's extremely stressful, and it's something that everybody needs a little bit of extra help, and that's where Monarch Money comes into play. Because again, finances, it can be messy, it can be confusing. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, and it gives you full visibility and control, so you can stop earning and start growing. If it's more than your average budgeting app, when you look at Monarch Money, it's a complete financial command center for all of your accounts, all of your investments, and all of your goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for all of our listeners. And again, tracking spending is extremely important. There's lots of different ways too where you can get trapped. I got like a spam text yesterday from a number pretending to be like the DMV saying I have unpaid parking tickets and click on this link here. It's like, no. Yeah, get out of here with this business. But again, they're trying to find all these different ways. And if you're not keeping an eye on where your money's going, That's where an app like Monarch Money comes into play. And again, start managing your finances to build the life you actually want. Monarch makes managing money simple, even for busy lives. Monarch Money is the finance tool that people actually love. It was named the Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code PHLY at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code PHLY.
And time to remind you about the Dudhat Dental Bright Smile Sweepstakes. Every week in August, we are giving away a Philips Teeth Whitening Home Kit to a lucky winner. And at the end of the sweepstakes, we're giving away a grand prize of an Oral-B IO toothbrush, top-of-the-line tech for your teeth. All you have to do is go to allphly.com/Dudhat Dental Group, fill out the entry form, and you are eligible for both prizes. That's it. No purchase necessary, but don't wait too long. The sweepstakes runs now through August 29th. Weekly winners will be selected throughout the sweepstakes, and the grand prize announcement will come at the end of the contest period. So if you want a whiter smile and a cleaner mouth without spending a dime, head to allphly.com/Dudhat Dental Group and enter the Dudhat Dental Bright Smile Sweepstakes today. Full sweepstakes rules and eligibility can be found at allphly.com/Dudhat Dental Group. Must be 18 or older to enter. Terms and conditions apply. Did you guys notice that we got a message from the winner of Monday's Dudhat Dental? This was Justin Park.
All right.
He felt honored that we made fun of his name.
Oh,
I don't think we made fun of it. I think we had fun with it.
Played along.
Yeah. Justin Park. Shout out.
As someone who's had their name made fun of before, I don't think we made fun of his name.
What's to make fun of EJ?
Oh, my actual name, Ernest.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ernest the Furnace.
Ernest goes to camp.
Yeah, the importance of being earnest.
Ernest the Furnace?
Yeah,
I've never heard of Ernest the Furnace.
That was your go-to?
Yeah. I used to get Ernest the Furnace all the time in elementary school. Yeah.
It doesn't. It's a slant rhyme too. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's not good. But listen, it doesn't matter if it's not good if you're like 7.
Yeah. And also, why is a furnace like such a? Why is that?
It's
so
not
offensive?
a bad thing to be. Yeah, it keeps the house warm. You know.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Listen, this
Bow
is perspective
arrow,
I have as an adult, but like
boa constrictor, boner.
Yeah, that's tough.
Overtime.
Beowulf.
Overtime.
Yeah, you gotta just embrace it.
Beowulf, that's not a bad one. That one bother you?
It didn't bother me, no.
Yeah, you had that perspective at a young age. Then I respect that.
Yeah, it's fine. I got no problem with that. All right, speaking of Dudhat Dental, let's tell you the Dudhat Dental Bright Smile player of the day. And I'm going to give that to someone who entered camp having to win a job, hasn't rotated at all, seems to have locked down that job. And I thought he had a very good day today in one-on-ones. I don't know how he looked with the offensive team periods, but that's Tyler Steen.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Steen has really settled in as the summer has gone on, and he had 2 really good reps today against Mason Graham, rookie from Michigan, a player who you might think physically could overpower him. 2 very good reps from Steen there.
Mason Graham moved the needle for you at all today?
No. Did he for you?
I didn't watch him at all. I saw him in warm-ups and I saw him walk off the field. Went and took pictures and signed autographs for Eagles fans. Mason Graham.
Oh,
nice
okay.
look for him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mason Graham didn't stand out to me much. Neither did Tyler Steen. And to your point, that's exactly kind of what you wanted to see. You know, we talked before about how the edge rusher group against a different set of tackles, it would be good to see them flourish a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was kind of with Tyler Steen getting away from Jalen Carter and Moro Ojomo, being able to then, go up against guys who you kind of expect him to be more steady against.
Yeah.
And I think it was encouraging that he wasn't in my notebook a whole lot.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like I've always been kind of like on the positive end of the spectrum with Steen, where I'm like, I think he's better than a lot of people will kind of give him credit for. I feel good about Steen going into the year. Lane pointed to this in the press conference today. I think Moro is going to be like really good.
Yeah.
I think like Moro. I think
now
Moro
it's interesting because I actually
very,
thought
very
today was Joel Bitonio handled him pretty well today.
Interesting.
It was not the biggest Moro day today.
Okay.
But I also have big expectations for him.
Yeah, I'm.
People forget that Moro Ojomo was part of the core 4.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, He's a former BWCC.
I feel like 9
I invented
guys
him.
have come up as the core 4.
No, the core 4 was
The core 4 is the core 8.
no. The core 4 was 4 people. It was Moro Ojomo, Reed Blankenship, the second year in a row, having continued the championship. Christian Ellis and Tanner McKee.
What year was this?
This was 2 summers ago.
I have no recollection of that one. I listened to
The
every episode.
sickos remember. This is the core 4. This was the year that I had to spread the wealth.
Just some
Right. So
goalpost
last year was the
moving
one where
behavior.
you announced Lou Nichols
Correct.
and then backed off and then had your core 8.
No, last year was just EJ Jenkins as described
Jenkins.
by Matt Quinn. Yeah.
Brandon Johnson, watch out. You're gonna
Last year it was EJ Jenkins.
Last year was the EJ Jenkins year. It was nobody else.
Correct.
I don't know if I remember. I don't think that's how I remember.
That
it
is.
at
That's
all.
what that
That's-
was.
I
You were
remember-
there. It was the Ospreys. It was your first show.
Yeah, I remember it being like it was like 5 different names by that point.
No. There was the whole thing about who's it going to be. And listen, I learned my lesson from last year of whoever like the heart
Yeah.
follows, the eyes follow right
Yeah.
away. That's who it is.
Right.
And it was EJ Jenkins. And then I waited and waited and waited and then started talking myself out of it. Talked into Lou. I still love Lou.
Right.
You know, Lou will always be in my heart. But it was EJ last year.
You went from EJ to BJ this year.
Yeah.
Right. No,
I'm sure you
Darius-
get that a lot.
I was going to say that's a little concerning for me.
Okay. Let's do. I'll tell you my O-line, D-line one-on-one thoughts. Now they did Eagles D-line against the Browns O-line on the far field. You couldn't see that at all.
Right. Okay.
So I was just focused on the Eagles offensive line against the Browns offensive line. The big takeaways here. I mentioned the Lane Johnson one. I
Right.
mentioned Tyler Steen. Now, I don't think that O-line D-line one-on-ones at guard are necessarily built to be in Brett Toth's favor.
No.
It's a little bit like the wide receiver DB ones, where I think what makes Brett Toth good, and in Stoutland's mind a viable option to start if Landon Dickerson's not ready, is because he's a reliable part of the 5. He's going to move the way that Stout wants him to move. He's going to know the assignments, but like just trying to anchor against a guy who is really stronger than him is not going to go well. And he had 2 tough reps, one against Malik Collins, one against Shelby Harris.
There were, I believe, 2 reps today during team where defensive lineman from the Browns got into the backfield. And the first thing I was trying to all right, who messed up? You look at the offensive lineman and you just see who gives the smack. And it was twice. There was a Brett Toth hand clap.
Okay. Matt Pryor did fine against Alex Wright. Isaiah McGuire actually beat Jordan Mailata to the inside, which was interesting. Mailata ran him around the outside the first time, and then he used an inside move and beat Mailata. Tough series for Trevor Keegan, who just anchor-wise, 2 guys just bowled him right back. Just not seeing the power necessary right now.
Yeah.
I thought Drew Kendall did very well.
Okay.
Did solid. Listen, those are tough ones too, where you're going up against the nose and you're going to get pushed back, but you got to lose slowly, as it were. He did well. One of them was against, 72. No, this is the other 66. This was 63. Ralph Holly. No, that's not right. He's Ralph Holly. Yeah,
Western Michigan.
There you go.
He's from West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Pryor did well against Alex Wright.
Oh, okay.
The
Starter.
German WCW dancer.
I don't think it's the same Alex, right?
It could be.
Who's to say?
Let's say.
No way we could possibly check to see if they're the
Yeah, you know what? I continue to be just a little disappointed in Kendall Lamb.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Let's see, 53. Julian Okwara, former Eagle, got him.
Right.
And then Lamb got the second rep. But also Cam Williams had another tough one. I think he's either going on IR or to the practice squad.
He was on his backside a couple times in team drills today.
And at the end of practice
and
as well.
at the end of practice, shared his breakfast with everybody in attendance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. At least it looked like he was about to.
Literally
Wait, on his back?
The
very-
last play of game, he could not get back up.
He was down on one knee.
It was hot out there today.
It was a hot one.
Toasty.
But he wasn't on his back puking, was he?
No.
Yeah.
So he was on his backside and then got knocked down again and then got up and then took a knee and yeah.
This was interesting. At the very end, as they were going around, Stout wanted Darian Kinnard to take 2 reps at left tackle. So as you're thinking about is Kinnard going to be the top backup? And the first rep was against our old friend Joe Tryon Shoyinka,
Of course.
who beat him to the inside. And then the next rep he did a good job against someone who's not on the roster, 98, who is not here.
Ah.
But so I don't know. Maybe this is the summer of Darian Kinnard in terms of shaking up the offensive line depth chart.
That's how I'll remember it.
He's manifested it. He's like one of the most featured people on the Eagles social account.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. He's always in those interview segments. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. What other little notes do you guys have?
Were you disappointed not to see Shedeur Sanders very often?
Yeah, I mean, he threw. I saw him throw 2 passes today. Dillon Gabriel was not that bad today. I was actually not. Maybe that's bad for the Eagles defense that Dillon Gabriel looked okay. Browns had a lot of drops actually. There were like 3 drops.
Okay. From starters, like their first.
I think one of them was a starter.
Okay.
Yeah.
The hell's going on with the you have 3 soft tissue injuries with the quarterbacks? Like, you had 2 guys with you rarely hear one quarterback with a hamstring injury during camp. You had 2 guys with a hamstring, and then you had an oblique injury for Shedeur. Now Shedeur missed practice last week with like shoulder soreness. So I don't know.
Especially you got 5 of them. You figure that they wouldn't be overworked.
Right.
Yeah.
This play Brandon Johnson made.
Oh man. Here we go.
Dillon Gabriel. It's like we're like 8 seconds into the down.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6. Like he's in the pocket. Dillon Gabriel's scrambling, and then Brandon Johnson makes a diving PBU. I mean, he's sticking on this guy in the slot for 6 seconds. Unbelievable. I started to think he might make the team. Super chat from Schoolboy. No Darius Cooper. Any Darius Cooper notes from today?
He had a couple catches with the 2s.
Yeah, he did.
Primarily with the 2s today.
Yeah, he had a pretty quiet day, especially when working with the starters. With the 2s, he had a few catches. I don't think I had him in one-on-ones either. I think he was about to go. And then for some reason, there was a lull in the one-on-ones at the beginning of practice. So, yeah, definitely a more quiet day for him.
I do believe he got the first rep as a gunner with the starting punt team. I do believe he got so basically the way they did it was like they had the core unit was working together in the middle of the field, and then they would have the gunners and jammers working on the outside separately. I'm pretty sure that he got the first crack at it as a gunner. If it wasn't the first, it was definitely the second. That's to me. I think that's important. If we're at this point in camp and he is running with the 1s at gunner, I think that's
he's on the team. I think it's over.
Over.
Yeah.
Over Anias?
I think if push came to shove, he would make it over Anias.
Yeah.
Especially with Dotson returning punts, and that becoming maybe more of an option. Because that's Anias's role, is like the Britton Covey.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
They threw a bubble screen to Anias today.
Oh, God.
With DeVonta on the perimeter blocking.
With DeVonta and Jahan Dotson behind it. I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
That's very funny.
I wrote down.
Why?
I wrote it down. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. 1-82, bubble behind 2 and 6. Throw that play out.
Very funny. The Eagles had some success with some games up front. I will say Jalyx Hunt got free looping inside at one point, and then there was one where Smile Mondon came on a blitz, and that meant that Azeez Ojulari then came in for or maybe Uche came in for a sack. Ojulari's sack was one where he really thudded Joe Flacco. It's like you should not be hitting him so hard. I'm surprised that there was not more pushback to that.
There were a couple.
Wait, we didn't talk about the fight.
Little thoughts, yeah. There were during special teams.
What did you see, EJ?
I will be honest. And this is my bad here. I saw Shiel Kapadia talking about Costco at the beginning of the fight.
Special teams periods. Everyone else is messing around.
Gotta do a better job.
Shiel's messing around. Yep. You got to be locked in. Andre Sam getting after people, right?
Yeah.
Mixing it up.
Andre Sam and Tony Jones.
Tony Brown.
Tony Bennett.
Downtown Tony Brown. The second.
Everybody
Tony.
bench is cleared. Everybody gets into the middle there.
It was like a solid training camp fight, but
it wasn't
nothing
crazy.
Yeah,
it was nothing crazy.
It wasn't Kelsey and Zaire Franklin.
No.
Just looking to see if any of the notes I have. BJ called for holding bull BS. I read.
I thought AJ Dillon had a couple. Speaking of thuds,
I agree with
his
that.
physicality showed up today.
I have another note. Right before the fight on special teams.
Okay.
Did you see and I will tell you about it. I'm going to leave in a second because I have a call I got to get on.
Flex.
But we're going to be going, you two are going to get to go into overtime. Right before the fight on special teams, DeVonta Smith is talking to a member of the Browns, and this is real game recognized game. Like the two best receivers on the field, they're having a nice conversation talking about the intricacies of route running, and of course, DeVonta and DeAndre Carter.
The original, the OG,
the original, yeah,
the OG,
the original. My first crush.
Couldn't get him on the pod.
I mean,
maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, it's young. We'll see how long overtime goes. All right. Do you guys have anything else, or should we just end the show? One more super chat. 1928 demand. Is EJ Preston Jacobs pilled?
I got nothing.
I don't know. Who's Preston Jacobs?
Preston Jacobs. I guess I'll Google it.
Preston. I was hoping you guys. I thought this was. I feel like I'm pretty up on the inside jokes here.
I don't know.
Unless he's talking about Ben Jacobs, like soccer reporter. That's my only guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who this is.
All right. Sorry, 1928. Thanks for the
Apologies.
$2 though.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's all we got for today. Unless you guys have more notes, but EJ's, you're going to have a report?
Yeah, we'll have
PHLY.com?
observations later on today, and I will do some research on Preston Jacobs.
Good time to become a diehard. Once again, $36 for the whole year. We're going to be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock. One more joint practice to talk about. All good stuff. Thank you to Julia. We will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.